Hey guys, I am Steejo and welcome to our newest Let's Play. This is Kerbal Space Program. This Let's Play is going to take on a bit of a tutorial type slant where I try and teach you everything I know about the game, which is actually a fair amount. I used to play this game a lot, but Squad, the developers, have recently released a new career mode, which is fantastic. I've given it a little try out, about 5-10 minutes. And made my own flag, so you're going to get my ugly little mug on all our flags. Basically in career mode, what you attempt to do is try to get your little Kerbals off of the planet Kerbin and into space. Basically, the main aim is to get as much science as possible, wrong building, to get as much science as possible, up here, science, 0, so that you can unlock more parts for your spaceship and get further, better, faster, stronger. So without further ado, I'll take you a wee route around ground 0. So we've got right here, as I showed you, which is the R&D lab, where you get your science and you research new things with the science so that you can make your planes better, your spaceships better. Okay, here we have the crew recruitment, or crew quarters, or whatever you want to call it. We've got the 3 original Kermans, Jeb, Bill and Bob, who are from the original Kerbal Space Program before they introduced all of this. And then you can hire additional astronauts who are all assessed on their level of courage and level of stupidity. From here you've got the available Kerbals that you've already... Kerbals, Kermans and Kerbin. Right, you've got your available Kerbals here, any Kerbals who are assigned to any ships already, and any Kerbals that you've lost in the line of duty. Alright, we'll be going with the original 3 anyway. Over here you've got where you can make space planes in your Kerbal Space Program space plane hangar, which I have absolutely no idea about, but hopefully I'll learn a little bit through doing this. Over here you have your regular ship or spacecraft or spaceship or whatever you want to call it, construction hangar, which is where we will be focusing most of our time. Loading. Come on. Then over here we have the tracking station where you can see the beautiful and wonderful planet of Kerbin, that's really interesting, with the polar ice caps, which is pretty cool. So this is supposed to basically be like a little Earth, and basically what you can do is you can zoom out and see where we'll be heading. The Mun here, which is the first moon of Kerbin, Mun or Moon, depending on what way you want to pronounce it. I'm not going to pronunciation Nazi, I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced as via the canon, but I'm going to call it a Mun because I will, basically. Beyond that you have Minimus here, which is the second moon of Kerbin. As you scroll out you can see even more of the solar system which we're in. Well, not solar system, but I forget the name of them. It's not a solar system because our solar system's a solar system because the sun's called Sun or Sol. You're getting me off topic here, people. What are you doing? Alright, so starting from the centre and not working our way out, we have the star of this system, which I'm going to call the Sun because I'll just fucking forget. And then you've got Moho, which is the closest to the Sun, which is going at fucking some speed, but it's also got an elliptical orbit, which makes it fucking horrible to try and intercept. Then you've got Eve, which is a lovely planet. You can actually double click and have a look at these, but I'm not going to because I want it to be like a little surprise for the series when we actually get there. And we will. And beyond that we have Duna, Dress, Jewel, and Elu. So each one of these planets all has their own little microgravity system here where they'll have their own moons or orbital bodies. But let's focus first off on escaping the gravity of Kerbal. Well, not actually escaping the gravity, but getting into a nice orbit in Kerbal. Actually, let's just escape the atmosphere and we'll see how we go. So we'll hit back up the top right and that'll bring us back to ground 0 and we'll go and construct our very first ship. So what we're going to need is we're going to need a command pod. Every ship starts with a command pod, and yeah, basically if you want to send Kerbals... Oh, there's my ugly mug. Hello sexy. Hey. Look at that beautiful beardage. Anyway, let's face this way. So we've got our command pod because we need that to shove Kerbals into to fire them into space on the back of really heavy rockets. Beyond that, what you're going to need some fuel. Fuel comes in 2 parts. You've got either liquid fuel here, as you can see with the fuel tanks. It will say where is it? Right there in the bottom there, it says resources, liquid fuel, oxidizer, and dry mass. Alright, so that is our liquid fuel. For a liquid fuel, you'll need fuel, and then to shove a engine on the bottom of it, like so. Well, not exactly like so, but there you go. And then you've got solid fuel boosters. Solid fuel boosters will fire and fire and fire until all the solid fuel is away, and then it'll stop firing. Easy peasy, but you can't set the throttle or anything, it just goes and that's you. Which makes the reason that I prefer liquid fuel a lot better, but solid fuel boosters are great for getting you out of the atmosphere and then just letting go of, because you're always going to be wanting to be kind of throttled up. What we're going to do is we're going to do something really simple. You don't even need to think about it. Command pod, solid fuel booster, done. Right, what we're going to need as well is there's no control surfaces unlocked just yet, as we need more science to do that. And then you've got extra structure so you can like stick shit to it. Not even going to need to worry about that. Aerodynamics, we've got nothing, and utility, we have the parachute. You're going to want a parachute on, or otherwise your Kerbal's going to die on coming back down. Because, like, yeah. Little tiny squishy thing hits big hard thing called ground, little tiny squishy thing goes kaboom. Right, so let's get this done. I'm actually going to, I'm going to click on the angle snap while I remember right now. There's also numerous other things you can have a look at here, which is the centre of mass, which is mildly important. The centre of mass will dictate how easy it is to turn. The centre of lift, which is always going to be at the bottom unless you're going to do a one of the aircrafts, one of the space planes. Then you need to worry about that. So yep, centre of lift just isn't needed for ships. And centre of thrust, which will more than likely always be down around here. You're not really going to need to use any of these as long as you do things the way it's supposed to. So because this craft is going to tell us how high we're going to go, we're going to have this as the SS How High. Yeah, original, I know. And we're going to save that because that's what I like to do. Beyond that, what you also need to do is you need to check your staging down here. Staging is how you separate each thing. So what we're going to need is we're going to need two stages. We're going to need the first one which sets off a solid fuel booster, and the second one which pops our parachute so that we can actually live. Right, so beyond that you can also set action groups, which we won't be using very soon, but we'll be using it eventually, and they are so good. Like, the things you can make just through the use of these action groups. Remember when action groups first came out and it was like, oh my god, the possibilities are just endless. You can do a lot of things with staging, but staging kind of assumes that things are going to go in a linear progression, such as you're going to fire that rocket, let it go, fire that rocket, let it go, whereas action groups allow you to toggle on and off different engines, and it's just fantastic. Next we've got the crew, so we can choose what crew we're going to send up on this first adventure out of the atmosphere. Hopefully, I don't think it will reach out the atmosphere, but anyway, we'll be sending Jeb. Jeb's my favourite. If Jeb dies, I will be upset and I'll probably cry for a week. Anyway, let's go to the launch, and I will do a quick run through of the controls, which is super easy. Fucking fireworks are still going off, Jesus Christ. Okay, so for the controls, you've got shift, which increases your throttle. You've got control, which will decrease your throttle. I'm using left control and left shift here. Spacebar, which does your staging, which I'll push in a little bit. W, A, S and D keys, you can see here. A and D control your yaw, W and S control your pitch, and Q and E control your roll. As you can see, it's kind of wiggling things here, and that's wiggling around when I'm trying to roll. That's hilarious. Beyond that, you just need to know that space continues on to the next stage. There's a number of different things you can do to garner research points. Right now all we can do really is create a crew report, your crew's assessment of the situation. So what we can do is we can keep that data, review report rather, and that will give me 1.5 science, alright, for use in spending and other hooja whatsits. So we'll keep that data. What you can also do is you can go on an EVA. That wasn't very smart, Jeb. Get up. Right, that's an issue because now I can't get back into it, so we're going to have to revert the flight to launch. That's really annoying, that. He shouldn't have fell out there, he should have grabbed onto the ladders. Anyway, you can do an EVA and then take an EVA report. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do right now is we'll take a... No, we won't even take a crew report. We'll take a crew report for the highest we get. Alright, so among the other controls you've got, you've also got, if you look down at the throttle, if you press X, boom, 0 throttle, which is really, really helpful for doing precise manoeuvres. In addition, you can hide the nav ball and extend the nav ball. This is the nav ball, and it's basically like, it'll show you your attitude. This shows you your head, and you can click this to get your orbital speed, which is 174.6 meters per second, which is the orbital speed of Kerbin. In addition, you've got your RCS and your SAS. SAS keeps you where you're looking, and RCS uses little thrusters to kind of control yourself when you're actually in space. Beyond that, I don't think there's much else I need to show you. C gets you in and out your cockpit, and V changes the camera. We're going to stick with the free cam. So yeah, without further ado, let's send you up into space, Jeb. So you control the staging by pressing the space bar, and let us hit this solid fuel. Sorry about the cough. Better tickly throat. We should set our SAS so that we're always pointing top. Solid fuel will just fire and fire and fire until it's out. See the throttle? If I drop back to 0, nothing happens, because solid fuel is just going to keep flying. Alright, there you can see the mun, which is awesome. So there we go, so that's that stage completely gone. That's all the fuel out, and is at 11,000, 12,000 feet. We're just exiting the lower atmosphere. What we'll do is we'll take a little crew report as soon as we get out of the lower atmosphere, which is now 3.5 scientific value as opposed to 1.5. So as you can see, the better you're doing, the more science you can get. Look at that, you can see the curvature of the planet. Beautiful, Jeb. How's it looking from in there, buddy? Great, that's best view ever. Is there any other? No. So we'll go back out. We don't want to do an EVA because the game is slightly buggy when you're in space, and if I do an EVA, he might let go of that and just fall to his death, which is horrible because I don't want to lose Jeb. So what we're going to do is we're going to stay on this, and we're going to spin it like a roller coaster so that he gets a bit drunk. Alright, so I'll actually explain a little things about the nav ball here. So you've got this little symbol here, which is like a circle with a cross through it. That is retrograde. That is the way which you're not going. That is the opposite way that you're going. And then here you've got a little symbol here, which looks like a little aeroplane, I like to think of it as. And that is prograde. That is the direction in which you are travelling. So we are travelling straight down, which is why this is facing straight down. Then you've got here, which is your horizon. Oh, we'll just spin it round so you can see it. This is your horizon. You can see the blue is the sky, the brown is the ground. Pretty simple, kind of like you find in most aircraft nowadays. And yeah, so that's the attitude that you're facing. So if we're facing, what we want to be doing is we want to be facing retrograde. Try and get yourself acquainted with these terminologies because I will be using them a lot. We want to be facing retrograde so that when the parachute will pop out the top, so it will slow us down without flipping us over and killing Jeb. I wouldn't really kill him, but it would exert a lot of G-forces on it, and I like Jeb too much to exert gut-wrenching G-forces on him. So what you want to do is, basically, you've got until about 500 meters above sea level to drop your parachute. I'm not that bothered. You can drop your parachute any time before that. I wouldn't suggest dropping it on re-entry as it might rip off, but you can drop it like now and it'll be fine. As you can see, the parachute's there. It's not quite opened yet. That's fine. Basically, when you hit about 500 meters, the parachute will just go and it'll slow you right down, as you'll see. And it might actually rip off a bit, which would be pretty cool. Nah, it didn't. That's fine. So yeah, so things in Kerbal Space Program take a long time, and you're not expected to sit and wait all the time, so we do have speed ups. So we use time warp. I'm very hesitant about using physical time warp because it can break. Let's just put it that way. So we're going to use 2 times warp just now. We'll slot down 1 times warp, so we're about to land. There we are. And the solid fuel booster blew up off of the bottom, but the control pods stayed fine. Control pods are kind of, they're a bit more heavy duty than a lot of the stuff, so you can kind of mistreat them slightly. Alright, and with that, what we do is you come up to the top here, above your altimeter, and you can recover the vessel. So we recover a vessel. That's the first exploratory mission out with the lower atmosphere. We get 5 extra science for recovering a vessel that survived a flight. and 3.5 science for the crew report, because while we were flying over the shores. So that's 8.5 science earned in a mission. And that equates to 8 because it rounds down because it's a scum. So we can now go into here, click on basic rocketry, and research it. For researching basic rocketry, we will get the FLT 400 fuel tank, which is just a bigger liquid fuel tank, another liquid fuel tank, a mystery goo containment unit, which is used for science, and one of the most essential things that you'll probably be using from now until the end of your career is a stack decoupler. Yeah, you probably will use stack decouplers. So what we'll do is we'll research that, and that unlocks a load more things. So you've got general rocketry, stability, and survivability. Survivability is fantastic because it gives you landing struts and radial mounted parachutes. So that means instead of plonking the parachute on top of the ship or rocket, like what I done there, you can mount these radially, so you can have much more parachutes just around your rocket. Stability, sorry about that, guys. The aerodynamic nose cone's not really useful, kinda useful. The meh. Winglets, I don't use them. There's no real need in them. I think maybe if you're making the space planes, then you would use winglets, obviously. And radial decouplers, which are a godsend. Like, radial decouplers is what makes your rockets just that much better. Also, you've got in general rocketry, you've got separatrons, which can make some really amazing things happen. Bigger solid fuel boosters and a better liquid fuel engine. So we don't have enough science to do any of this. I'd probably be going for stability. Not stability. Wait, where is it? Oh no, we already got it. Sorry, I was looking for the stack decoupler. We already got it. I'll probably be going for rocketry. So no, stability rather. So we can get the radial decouplers. Right now, these little numbers underneath that say now it says 1200C, and it's like cost and unlock cost. Those don't really matter right now. I'm guessing what's going to happen is money is going to be brought into it, and like you can research them and then you'll need to buy them. So how it says unlock cost, you can research it by using your science, and then through use of credits you can then buy the unlocks, which is going to be awesome. It's just going to put another level onto the career mode, and I'm going to love it, and I'm going to play the shit out of this game. Alright, so yeah, basically this is Kerbal Space Program in a nutshell. We will be playing an awful lot of this, so look forward to new episodes. If you want, you can subscribe to the channel to be notified of when the new episodes come out. There's Steejo and his glare at the rocket, the piece of shit rocket that we constructed. So yeah, you can subscribe to get notified of when new episodes come out. Please also, if you want to give me any tips, hints or advice, or want to just leave any comments, comment section below would be gladly appreciated. If you're enjoying the Kerbal Space Program series and want to see more, please drop a like. It kind of lets me gauge how many of these episodes I should really do, because with a game as open as Kerbal Space Program, I could play this for years and like never reach an end because the game doesn't have an end. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye bye.